Groove City.
Oluwa bless me today, cause I know you too. Hey, yo, you know what it is, it's your boy Yo 6, and I wanna let
So
you
I'm
know
like, how
that's
you
three
coping with
second
this?
eyes of the road to text, and hours of traffic, loss of property, and loss of lives.
Put it up for him a bit, at least.
You're saying really?
I'm not even feeling it though.
Yeah?
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're back on the block, and of course, you know what time it is? It is time to switch gears and focus the conversation on the technical side of things as it relates to the physical and urban space of not just Lagos or perhaps Nigeria. We're looking at best practices in the act of surveying, and that is why every Fridays from 10:15 through 11 o'clock, the Association of Private Practicing Surveyors of Nigeria, Lagos State Branch, have deemed it fit for us to have this dialogue so that we can improve things out there. This is the benchmark from your station of attraction, passion, fashion, and action, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. You're welcome. My name is Victor Uteri. All right, then. So today we are going to be reflecting via the viewpoint of the relevance of surveyors, especially in works and construction corridors and all of that. But majorly today, we want to hear from you, your own experience, actually relating with a surveyor. So if you had surveyors do jobs for you, you might want to share that experience with us today. And the whole idea of this is for us to improve relationships, right? So what the body is trying to do is to have a robust kind of relationship with you. Now, if you have issues with any surveyor of any sort, my friends in the building, they are professionals and they are executives of APPSN. So they are ready to help bring intervention. Like they've done that severally on this program. We've had a series of cases that were brought before then, and they were able to bring in resolution. So we'd love to have that kind of experience shared with us today. And if the experience is good, because one thing for you to have professionals who are sound, that are living up to the principles that really guide the profession, then you must be able to also call them out and say this is what they are doing that is really good, so that that can be properly emulated. So that's the whole idea of today's program. So I'll be waiting to hear from you. Perhaps you can share your own testimony with us in the studio this morning, your adventure with a surveyor, or perhaps what you have done or the services that they've rendered for you. You can also let us have that as well. But first up, let's get to the traffic situation. I understand things are getting better across town. It means the first wave of traffic has substantially subsided, even around the construction corridor. If you're heading towards Oduyalaro, the main carriageway is much better right now as we speak. Service lane slow and steady, and of course it's still looking very good. Alakbere corridor, trying to use that end to link up with the Third Milan Bridge, or perhaps link up with Bagada. I understand things are really better right now. Earlier on, we had some queues and of course some build up as a result of fuel dispensing activity within those corridors, but it's looking better right now, so no much worries. If you're coming in from Alakbere connecting Ogudu, a car wash heading towards the Third Milan Bridge, it's a much better drive at the moment. All right, then Lagos Abeokuta Expressway, most of the corridors there are still looking good, but of course from Ilezik connecting National, you might have it a little bit slow, but no major worries driving through that end. Heading inwards Oshodi is also looking good as well. Let's see if we can comb one or two places. Those of you on the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, let me know what your travel experience has been. Share that with us as well. And then control room, if there are impediments cited right now, you can also let us know what those impediments are. But as we speak right now, it's still impediment free. Okay then, so we've done some house cleaning duties. Let's bring in our guest, but let's take this update. All right then, hello there, good morning. All right, Emmanuel. Good. Talk to me. What's the latest update? Hmm. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right then. I really appreciate you for that one, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Okay then. So lone accident reported by Emmanuel of the control room, commercial bus at a Greek inwards Aruno, and I hear the injured victims have been taken to a nearby hospital. So that's the latest. That's coming in from the inner part of Ikorodu this morning. Okay, then let me bring in my guest. So, like I said, today we're looking at general practice and the general areas of relevance for surveyors and how they really come to play. So let me bring my guest to the microphone. Ogona Roberts is, of course, the national, he's the state publicity secretary of the Association of Private Practicing Surveyors of Nigeria, Lagos State Branch. Nice to have you in the building. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor. It's good to be back again.
And how's it been for you?
Yeah, very wonderful.
Your journey here was smooth, I suspect?
Very smooth.
Is that a product of the fuel queues, or why do you think the roads are pretty free?
Yes, well, I think the peak period is over, kind of, on the route I took. I came in through the airport access, through the airport route, through Ikeja under bridge. And then it's not really peak period for traffic on that route now, but also the fuel queues have disappeared reasonably.
All right, so joining him as well, I have Olugbenga Adams Benjamin, Surveyor Olugbenga Adams Benjamin. Of course, he's the National Publicity Secretary for APPSN, and he's here with us in the studios. Surveyor Olugbenga Adams, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor, and good morning, Lagosian.
All right, how's it been for you too? How was your journey here?
Very, very fine.
Okay.
I think the scarcity is getting subsided a bit by bit.
Which side of town were you coming in from?
Coming from Ogba, Aguda, Gidingbi.
Okay, and it's looking good with those
Very,
areas.
very good, very good.
All right, let's talk about the profession now. I know you guys have been here. We've been doing a whole lot of advocacy, trying to talk about best practices of this particular profession. So we are good robots. What's the response like? How's it been for the profession in recent time?
Yeah, the response, especially from members of the public, has been quite encouraging, and that's a testament to the fact that people are getting more aware of the need to engage registered surveyors in all of their development activities and planning activities. So the response is quite encouraging.
And for you, Surveyor Adams, you transversed Nigeria as the National Publicity Secretary. So what's it like across Nigeria in terms of people relating with you guys?
Sincerely, the patronage, the responses, the feedback has been very, very, very encouraging. Coupled with the fact that because we notice this upsurge in patronage due to this publicity. So what we try to do at national level is to get across to all our members at state branches level to train the trainer.
Okay.
Retrain the trainer so that they can get used to the new advancement in technology in surveying profession, things they've known in the past that they need to apply some changes. They've been doing it in various states. We'll be having our own in Lagos State come September 18, whereby practitioners will be taught on what they've known in the past, how they can do it better, how they can the business aspect of it, the value-added service, the politics, the policy, and the change in the market dynamics, so that getting to relate with members of the public in terms of surveying will be free and fair.
All right. So trainer courses, they're coming up in September
for Lagos State.
for Lagos State. Okay. So
Other states have been doing theirs.
Okay.
All other states will still be doing theirs too.
All right, that's very good. So now we're talking about the general practice and, of course, areas of relevance for surveyors. Surveyor Ogona Roberts, in terms of areas of practice for the surveyor, maybe we can just break it down for our listeners this morning. Where can we make use of surveyors?
Okay, it may sound funny to some people that surveying cuts across every area of endeavor in life.
Every area of endeavor?
Yes, every area.
Why do you say that?
Okay, let's start with the ones we're already used to, property acquisition. We already know what surveyors do there. Now you come to transportation. If you come to the transportation sector, the surveyors are best at giving you, carrying out what we call route analysis.
Okay.
Yes, so they are best at advising the authorities on how to position infrastructure, how to plan movements and logistics and all that, because they have an understanding of the general layout of the metropolis. Yes, so when it comes to transportation management, surveyors are very relevant there. When it comes to navigation, surveyors are very relevant there, because hydrographic survey, bathymetric survey and all that are very vital parts of in the marine sector.
Okay.
You know, where we deal with depths of seabeds, how clear the channels are for sea vessels and all that. So
surveyors are relevant there too.
Yes, surveyors are very relevant there. Then even in terms of health,
I wanted to ask about health too, but you just took it off my mouth now. So you mean we can find surveying in health as well?
Yes, because the deliverables of surveyors are relevant even in the health sector.
Let me allow Surveyor Lubinga Adams to respond to that. Is that very correct, that your services are also required in the health sector?
See, the people that came up with this slogan that survey is a benchmark for any meaningful development, they are not making any mistake. For everything that you need to do that has to do with our day-to-day life, surveying is very, very relevant.
I thought just about measurements. You guys just measure, right? So how come your services, or perhaps what you do, is now going to have exponential impact on every sector?
Well, you know, when you're talking about surveying, you're not talking about only measurement, you're talking about positioning. You're talking about putting the right thing at the right place. And I have to be able to determine where is this, where is that, and where will this be. So, yes, part of what you do to get all this thing done is what we call measurement in the layman language, but we call it data acquisition. It is after you have acquired your data and you do the analysis of the data, you'll be able to decide how to use it to plan, how to use it to do whatever we need to do. That's why you see in any developed countries, you see they don't joke with surveyors. They see surveyors as the next to the president, because they know for every special planning they need to do, surveyors must come in place at every point in time.
Okay. All right. Let me get back to Surveyor Gunnar Rebels. You were talking about the relevance of surveyors in the health sector. Break it down for us.
Okay. Now, if you look at the health sector, for instance, in hospital administration, you have the primary health centers, you have the secondary health centers, you have the tertiary health centers. And these health centers are not just established and located at, random.
Okay.
There is a categorization. For instance, the primary health sector is supposed to be positioned strategically to cover the state. And then under that, you have the secondary health centers, which are supposed to form a cluster overseen by the primary health centers. And the same thing with the tertiary. Now, you must have clearly positioned and accurately positioned health centers to service a particular metropolis. So, for instance, in a place like, ideally, in a local government, you should have a major hospital that is able to service the smaller ones.
Okay.
And it will be a disaster for you to cluster your health centers in a particular location. There must be an even spread.
So it's not the idea of you having a tertiary health center, a secondary, and even a primary health center? Is that not the idea?
Yeah, that's the idea. But it's not just enough to say we're establishing them. They must be evenly spread.
And they should be evenly accessible.
Accessible, yes.
Depending on the location and the population of people that stay within that vicinity.
Yes, very true.
So, in that regard, is it the surveyor that's going to do that even spread?
It is surveyor that will be able to determine the location where you can put all those there, depending on the distance from each of these facilities.
Okay. This
That's
is
why the issue of as-built comes in.
as-built service.
Yes, because you need to carry the as-built of that particular area, know the number of houses, determine their population, to be able to know what can we put in this locality in case of emergency. You can't put an health center in a densely populated area and go and put a general hospital whereby you have less than 100 people staying in that locality.
Let's talk about other areas of relevance that one can, make use of a surveyor. Surveyor Gunnar Roberts, any other areas?
Okay, even now we'll look at the agricultural sector.
Agric as well?
Yes, agric as well.
Talk to me.
Agriculture has gone fully automated now. Gone are the days when you just go plant corn, plant maize, plant
Okay,
yam.
just
and
hold on
all
a
that.
second. I think I have a call here that's coming in. Hello there, good morning. Okay, I guess we lost that. All right, 08099120777 and 09153877127. So, like I said, one of the things that we'd like to hear on this program today is for you to share your experience. If you've had any difficulty working with a surveyor and you are looking for ways of resolving that, my professionals are in the studios. They will help you to navigate through that complex region. Yeah, so you're saying agric, right?
Yes. Now, agriculture has gone beyond what we used to do growing up, where you just plant anything you want to plant anywhere. For instance, if you have a palm plantation, part of the applications of surveying and GIS is to help you give every palm tree a unique identifier. So from the comfort of your office, you can manage your farm. You can know where, for instance, if you need to deal with diseased crops, you can easily isolate a diseased crop, create a buffer to know the surrounding trees that are likely to be infected, especially if it's an infectious will I say disease now that is plaguing that particular tree. And then you'll be able to adequately plan your farm to allocate resources to various sectors of the farm.
So, would I need a surveyor to help me do that?
Yes, that's part of the things the surveyor does. Part of the things the surveyor does. So, even before you even acquire your farm, for instance, if you're going to go into large-scale farming, you don't just acquire the land and start tilling the farm. No, you must carry out a topographical survey of that farmland to know the type, because certain crops do well even on maybe along a valley or along a floodplain and all that. There are certain crops you cannot plant along a hill because erosion will easily wash out those crops.
Okay.
So you must be able to plan your farm based on the results of the data that the surveyor gives you. Yes.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're looking at areas of relevance for the surveyor, and of course, we're looking at that general practice as it relates to them. And we're having some revelations this morning because my friends who are technical professionals, or let me just put it that way, technicians here, they are letting me know there's so many areas that a surveyor services can be required. Okay, so you've reflected on the health, agric, you said you are needed there, road construction, transportation.
Security.
Security.
Yes.
Talk to me, Surveyor Lubing Adams.
Well, one of the major issues we're having in confronting the security challenges we're having in Nigeria is not using the right people to do the right thing. It is the surveyors that can come up with a map of a certain locality. And for every locality, for every street, you have what we call coordinates.
Okay.
For you to be able to secure a particular place, okay, let's use the
GPS.
Let's do the north.
Okay.
Where we have the menace of Boko Haram.
Of insurgents there.
For our security forces to be able to attack those insurgents and to be able to determine their location, it is the duty of the surveyor that will be able to help them to verify the particular location where they have, get the coordinates, and for them to be able to plan the exercise. In case they need to attack from the air, a surveyor will always involve, because you approach the location knowing the particular coordinates of the people you needed to attack.
Ah,
And the first thing that we needed to do in this country is to get the map of this Nigeria done.
okay.
So if surveyors can be able to do the map, then we'll be able to determine the location of everybody at every particular time, every time.
Okay. All right. So areas are Greek required. Any other one that we can look at that requires the services of surveyors?
Well, this one is even very funny. Let me even bring it to the religious the religious bodies.
Don't tell me surveyors are needed in religious bodies too.
Now, if a church or a mosque is planning to carry out maybe siting of mosques or churches, it is so that you don't end up having churches like, for instance, in Lagos State, where Lagos State is very particular about citing churches and mosques and other facilities that generate noise in residential areas. Now, the surveyor is in the best position to be consulted to advise on land use
Okay.
and positioning of your facilities. So, for instance, if a church wants to go into church densification, where they want to now plant churches in maybe within a particular location or within a particular local government, the surveyor can advise on how to best site these churches so that you have an even spread. Like, for instance, there's a church in Nigeria, I wouldn't want to mention their name. They have a slogan that they want to cite a church at every 5 minutes walking distance.
Okay.
Now, how do you know how to evenly distribute so that there's a uniform triangulation of all your church locations? These are things that surveyors can come up with, to advise on, okay, this is what 5 minutes walking distance looks like in this particular direction. This is the closest you can get. This is the area that is densely populated. You can site a bigger church here because the population density, you have there will suit what you're trying to cite.
All right.
And all that. So it cuts across so many aspects of human endeavor.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. The Benchmark is a program, and I have Surveyor Olubinga Adams as well as Surveyor Ogona Roberts. Both of them, they are from the Association of Private Practicing Surveyors of Nigeria, who are the sponsors of this program. All right, getting back to the roads, Ikoyi Obalinde axis this morning. I understand it's good movement from Simpson Bridge, Dolphin Bridge, connecting Osborne Foreshore inwards by Okuku intersection. All looking good. Golden Gate as well. NMPC, that corridor looking good. Registry inwards Akin-Adeshola Bridge looking pretty good at the moment. Falomo inwards Awolowo Road, that entire stretch down to Oniko Roundabout, appreciably good too from what we can see. Falomo inwards Bodiland Road, Alexander Road linking up with the Link Bridge, Alexander Roundabout inwards Gerald Roundabout looking pretty good to go as we speak. Obalende Bridge and its environs good to go too for now, and then we can tell you no impediment cited all through that corridor. All right, then let's hear from you. 08099 120 09153 877127. Those are the numbers that you can connect with us. This morning, we'd like to hear your own experience too with a surveyor. Okay, if you made use of them and the experience was good, you can share it with us. If you've also made use of them and the experience wasn't so good, you can also let us know too. So share that experience with us, okay? 08099 120 777 and of course 09153877127. All right, so for the built environment and this amnesty program that is ongoing right now, let's even dwell a bit on that. At what point will the surveyor come in?
Okay, the surveyor would come in from, for those who have built and want to take advantage of the amnesty. So the first thing you need to even check is, do you even have a survey plan? Do you have a registered survey plan? So if the answer is no, you need a surveyor to come in and carry out the survey of your property. And then he's carrying out the survey of the land and then producing also an as-built survey to show what has been built already on that land.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, so that's where they are needed. And are people making use of that right now?
Yes, that's part of reasons why we said that surveyors have been very busy this season. Because yes, you will discover that the percentage of people who don't have documentation on their property in Lagos is alarming. Very alarming.
And in addition to that, we want to try to make it known to the members of the public, especially government agencies, that because of the fact that people need to cut corners, some people tends to come up with provisional survey.
Okay.
Provisional survey is not a survey plan, it's just an ordinary sketch.
So if anyone sees anything like that, provisional survey, it's not a survey.
You can't use it for any documentation. Even some government agency does not know. Some people in the government agency advise people that wants to apply for this amnesty to go and meet their surveyor. I tell them that just give you provisional survey. We can make use of it for you because it's cheaper. Provisional survey is not a survey plan, just a sketch.
So it's not good at all.
At all.
All right. There's a message here. It says, good morning, Victor. How does boundary surveying differ from topographic surveying? Paul from Ikorodu. He said that morning. Is there anything like that?
Boundary surveying is cadastral survey. You want to know the extent of your land, the distance, the bearing in relation to adjoining properties. You want to know where your land starts, where it stops, and you can use the survey plan to obtain a title. Topographical survey is a kind of survey that we do in the engineering survey. You can still do it on your land depending on the size to determine the spot heighting, the difference in height of every position, depending on at interval at which you are picking your point. Okay. Maybe you want to use it to design. Maybe you want to build on a land that is not a flat terrain, so you want to use it to design to be able to know the topography of the land. Then you carry out a topographical survey. So it's basically used in engineering survey.
All right. This one says, amazing day to you, Victor, and the surveyors in the studios. Says, can surveyors work in real estate development, and in what capacity can they do so? Dimeji, he sent that one in.
You can't separate real estate from surveyor, because what do we call real estate? Real estate is land, acquisition of land. And for you to be able to acquire land, you need the service of a surveyor from the day you have the concept of the fact that I needed to acquire a land. Because it's the surveyor that will tell you, able to know if the land is under acquisition, if it's committed, if it is free, if it can be used for residential, if it's for commercial, it's for agric and some other things. So you can't separate real estate from surveying.
Okay. All right then. I'm having more messages coming as well, but you can put your calls through 0809 912 0777 091 5387 7127. This one says, well done, surveyors. I almost got swindled recently when trying to purchase a plot of land. Thanks to my surveyor who helped me check the land size before purchasing it. Oluwaseun is sending that one in from Ikpaja. Okay, that's a good report. So it means that Oluwaseun, the surveyors came in for you. What's your reaction to that, Gunnar Robert?
Yeah, that's why we have always advised potential landowners in Lagos and even beyond Lagos to carry their surveyors along. Like, your surveyor is like your doctor, your lawyer, your clergy, either your pastor or your imam, who you should not keep secrets from. You know, for you to, whenever you have intentions to invest in land, carry your surveyor along.
So if I want to buy a land now, I should call my surveyor first?
Yes. The same way people are advised to have personal doctors, personal lawyers, you should have a personal surveyor. Somebody who you can call up at any time and he attends to you. And he knows that he's protecting your interest. Yes.
Okay. All right then. So surveyors will always be there to protect your interest. This one says, good morning. So for the person that asks if surveyors can settle land disputes, it says, I had a similar situation, and it was in the surveyor's report that was key in winning the land ownership case. Thanks, Kolade. He's sending that one in. Okay, so what's your reaction to that, Surveyor Benga Adams?
Yes, for every land issue, for it to be determined by any court of law, the input of a surveyor is highly needed, because it is what the surveyor brings to the court that they will use in proving the location, the extent, and some other factors that the judge will rely upon. So in land disputes, surveyor has been referred to as an expert witness who must not take side. Whatever that it sees is what a surveyor will present for. So we should give kudos to the surveyor that has helped the person to handle his land matter. That means he has patronized
The right.
a registered surveyor, because a quack cannot represent you in a court of law.
Yeah, but Oguna Robots, we have quacks that are, everywhere in the profession as we speak right now. What is APPSN doing to eliminate those quacks?
Well, part of what we are doing to eliminate the menace of, or to downplay the enemy, or to cut down rather the influx of quacks in the profession, is one of such is this enlightenment we are creating, and then advising members of the public on why they should stop patronizing quacks, because quacks thrive with patronage. Yes, if you don't patronize them, they will soon fizzle out of existence.
Right.
Yes.
This one says, Victor, I'm happy you are shedding more light on the importance of surveyors on the program. Say they are unsung heroes, especially in communities like ours where land disputes and conflicts are very common. Shegun Afolabi is sending that one in. Shegun, thank you so much. Well, this program, let me let you know, it's a courtesy of the Association of Private Practicing Surveyors. We are in the 4th quarter, by the way, so it's going to a 1-year cycle since this has been on, and what they're trying to do is just to encourage best practices in surveying. And so this morning we're trying to see if we can hear from you as well, if you've had any kind of relationship, any kind of business relationship with a surveyor. How was the experience? We need to hear from you. We need to hear you shed light on that on the program this morning, even though time is not really our friend, but if you can bring that in within the next 1 or 2 minutes, I would appreciate that. 09153 877127. That's 0915387 7127 is the number that you can call. Now, for those who run into trouble, maybe making use of people who are not the registered surveyors, and they run into trouble, is there a way you can bring in remedy, Surveyor Lubengai Adams?
To a certain extent, because like what Surveyor Agus said, that quackery thrives based on patronage. And one good thing about surveying profession is there is no way you run into trouble giving your job to a quack that survey plan will not be signed by a registered surveyor. So whoever that are fall victim of quackery, having issues with the survey plan, you can be able to trace. If you can't get the quack, you can bring to book the person that has append his signature and his name on that survey plan, who is a registered surveyor.
Right. So a fake survey, can it be corrected?
The moment you determine whether if it's a fake survey, it can be corrected by doing the right thing.
It can be corrected. So that means I'll get a registered surveyor.
If the survey was signed by a registered surveyor. Okay. For every registered surveyor in this country, we can get hold of them within a twinkle of an eye.
What are the features that one will find in a survey plan?
Number one, the name of the person that owns the land, the location, the size of the land, the area, that's the total area of the land. We have what we call the distance and bearing, the beacon numbers, the coordinate, one of the coordinates of the points. Most importantly, the address of the surveyor, the office address of the surveyor, the company name that must have phone numbers and email address.
Right.
The plan number, which is the unique identifier, the name of the surveyor that signed the plan, and a live signature with a certificate that shows is the one that is appending his signature to this plan on a particular date.
So can it be backdated?
There's nothing like backdated survey. Any survey that is backdated is fake survey.
Surveyor Agurabos, do you want to react to that?
Yes, every backdated survey is a fake survey.
It's a fake survey?
Yes.
Okay. I know that in buildings where we have multiple apartments, you guys have talked about the need to have other types of surveys. Is that correct?
Yes, very correct.
So what do you call them? What kind of surveys do you do for?
We call it strata survey. That's multi-level
survey. So strata survey.
Yes.
If I'm on the 3rd floor and I have a flat within a building of 5 floors, I'm supposed to conduct a strata survey.
Yes. Because the whole building does not belong to you. Your flat is yours.
Right. So I will do a strata survey for my own flat.
You do a survey that carries your own name for your own flat, which you can do you can do a title on it, and we can use it for facilities later in future.
All right, let's begin to take this home this morning. So for those who do not really understand all of this and they would like to get more, they still want to look for best ways of connecting with professional and registered surveyors. How can they identify one, and what should they do, Surveyor Ogona Robert?
Okay, to identify a registered surveyor is simple. When you're interacting with one, just book an appointment with him in his registered office. Insist on meeting with him in his office. We want to encourage members of the public to stop meeting with their surveyors in their own houses or on site. You can't be parting with millions of naira and you don't know where to find that surveyor. Insist on meeting with the surveyor in his house, and then in his office rather. And then when you get to his office, here are the things you should look out for. Look out for his certificate of registration issued by the Surveyors Council of Nigeria. It must bear his name, the date of his registration, his registration number, and it must tally with the person you're discussing with.
All right.
You must also look out for his certificate of incorporation, his company certificate of incorporation, and his membership certificate from the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors.
Okay, then. So, Surveyor Olubenga Adams, as we round this off, where is the APPSN? Where are you guys located? For those who would like to get in touch with you.
APSN is located on Asbifi Road, opposite a former Elephant House, now known as Lagos Revenue House at Alausa Ikeja. And for members that are trying to get across to us on the studio line that have not been able to do that, if they have any experience with any surveyor, maybe bitter experience, so to say, and we need to get across to us, they can reach us on our email address, official email address, appsnlagos20@gmail.com.
appsnlagos20@gmail.com. Okay, then we'll leave it at that for now. Surveyor Olubenga Adams, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Victor.
And to Surveyor Ogona Agu Roberts, it's always a thing of pleasure having you in the studios.
Thank you very much. And also, let me just put it out there that the surveying profession will be 90 in October.
Wow.
So watch out for the celebrations.
Beautiful. All right, we'll be here and we'll be able to echo that as well, trumpet it in a very loud way, that people will know that this great profession is really, really ticking and making a whole lot of change in terms of development. We have to go. Mike James has produced the program as usual. I say a big thank you to APPSN Lagos State Branch for making this conversation possible, and to you out there for connecting with us on the program. We do appreciate you. Next Friday, the program makes a return by 10:15. But till then, I appreciate Kwemi Shodunke and Remi Aluko of our social media unit. Our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a splendid weekend. Bye.